Moving on for this week's matchup. Before we take a look at the third place game, I would like to mention again that Capital Punishment was able to defeat the Kamikaze Dynasty by, we decided, 1 point.
I think that was probably the game of the year, to tell you the truth.
That's in 204 to 203.
Something like that. And, I know not a lot of people are probably paying attention to that matchup simply because it had very little bearing on the rest of the league, but it turned out to be quite the barn burner.
And congratulations to you, Mr. Amos Need, for your 5th pick of next year's draft. And that could loom large in your ability to make the Capital Punishment a little more dangerous and not look like just a juvenile detention center.
Let's move on to my game now. It's always disappointing playing in the third place game, but this pick right now will be for either the 7th pick that the winner of this game will get, and the loser is going to get the 8th pick. It's myself, the T-Town Terror the T-Town Keeper versus the D-Boys, your old nemesis.
I know, and I'll be interested to see if D-Boys can come back with it. I know they're really bringing it last week, and this might be a letdown game for both teams. Sure. But remember, there's still a lot to play for. You don't want to end up with the 8th pick if you can get the 7th. That's kind of that area where you start running out of #1 running backs and you move into wide receiver quarterback dilemma, not really sure what to do. I would like to say, though, just to start this out, I'm really interested. I don't know who I'm going to pick just yet, but Reggie Wayne did start out with 18 points last night, which is a great start for you, D-Boys. The interesting matchup is going to be the Washington Redskins hosting the Philadelphia Eagles. Remember, we talked about this earlier in the season with the three-headed monster, the eggs in the basket, whatever you want to say. But Jason Campbell, Clint Portis, Chris Cooley for the T-Town Keeper against the Philadelphia Eagles. If the Eagles have a bad day defensively or the Redskins have a good day, look for the keeper to win. Now, I don't want to go. I'm going to straddle the fence. I'm just going to tell you, because if the Redskins don't play well offensively, D-Boys are going to win just because of the matchups.
Well, that's the thing. And you look at the D-Boys conversely. My team is built around the Redskins. Jay Cutler, probably a pretty good matchup. Question mark with Anquan Bolden right now. I believe that shoulder injury, he's still a little on the fence.
That's exactly right. And I have him likely out right now. Likely out.
And we're, if he plays, it's certainly going to hurt my chances again. Thomas Jones, quietly, I believe is still leading the AFC in rushing yards, which means he's getting carries. The aforementioned matchup of the Redskins versus Philadelphia with Brian Westbrook growing in that game, the always questionable Brian Westbrook, but he always seems to play. And then Jamal Lewis. We'll see. Jamal Lewis is
one other thing I want to mention. Look for this to make a difference. Pittsburgh's defense against Tennessee, because Pittsburgh's defense might have more points than you think. Tennessee's not going to turn the ball over much, but they're also going to only score about 13 points this week.
Very true. Very true.
So,
looking objectively, I may have a tough time, but as always, I'm going to take myself to win the last game of the year.
Just for the heck of it, D-Boys, I owe you one, baby. I'm pulling for you. Let's move on to the championship. The Big Gun Keeper League Championship.
This is what we've worked all year for. This is why you spent...
Daddy needs a new pair of shoes!
You spent all of June looking at fantasy magazines, all of July doing meaningless drafts for public teams, all to lead up to this week right here. We have our own Tuscaloosa Vols against the creator of the league, the Ass Whooping Click.
Amazing. Good for you, E-Flow.
That's right.
All right, I say
I'll start. Well, that's it. It's E-Flow's team. Let's start a little bit there. Big matchup for him, obviously, the Monday night game, Green Bay versus Chicago.
That's the game. That's the game. That's what it comes down to.
It's going to be tough for you having to sit and wait. No matter how big your lead is, you're going to be thinking, if Aaron Rodgers goes big, if Ryan Grant goes big, I can still lose.
What's the weather going to be like in Chicago? On a December night, in late December, close to Christmas, is it going to be snowing? It's definitely going to be windy. It's not called the non-windy city. So, I'm taking me. I have the better matchups, but I'm just telling you, just so everybody knows, if the Packers play well in that game, I lose.
That's it. And of course, other people looking at your team. Dallas Clark started off last night with a good lead. 19 points out of your tight end is always a big deal. Wes Welker, good matchup against Arizona. Running backs. Steven Jackson against San Francisco could be big. LaDainian Tomlinson, though, I believe he's going 6 straight weeks without a touchdown. Tampa Bay coming off 2 losses. Gruden's going to have them fired up. San Francisco's playing for nothing at this point. quite literally, the only thing that they're playing for now is to possibly keep Schottenhauer's job, and I think that, I'm sorry, to keep Norv Turner's job, and that's probably even questionable.
My dilemma is, though, the only other option I have is Chris Johnson at home against Pittsburgh. Now, I know I have Warwick Dunn on the bench, but Cadillac's been getting more carries, and I don't think he's an option.
Yep.
So we go LaDainian Thomas and Chris Johnson, and I just got to go LT in that situation.
I don't blame you. It'll be fun. Looking forward to this. I know you're going to take yourself, but, I just foresee, I think Adrian Peterson, who I've been on the whole year.
You have.
I always like having the best player. I think he's going to come up for the best team this year. I'm going to take the click to win year one.
Come on, Falcons D. You need a win. Stop him in the dome. The Triple H doesn't stand for that wrestler guy. That's right. It's for whatever. But come on, D. Step it up in there.
We're looking forward to it. We want to say thank you to everybody that has watched the show this year. We've enjoyed putting it on. We've enjoyed every week preparing. We hope that you guys have enjoyed it. We may have a wrap-up show this next week, but possibly the next time you'll see us will be a draft preview sometime next year.
I just like to say, championship. That does it for the Big Gun Keeper League show. We'll see you in 2009.